Day 2 of the BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Championships. We're in the 2010 Winter Olympic venue in Whistler, British Columbia in Canada, as we get ready for the start of the women's competition. Hello and welcome to a stunning day here in BC. I'm Martin Haven, alongside me John Morgan at the fastest track on the planet, John. And today it is going to be like greased lightning.
This is the super speedway of the sport of bobsleigh and skeleton. The track, vertical drop, you can barely walk up the track from the outside. And Martin, needless to say, it's a challenge. Myers-Taylor has the record at the start. But as you get in here, this first curve, get settled quickly, go around, because you drop 7 stories. You need to take advantage of every bit of the gravity advantage here. Flatten out a little bit. Now this curve 3, 4, don't fall asleep here. Crashes here all week long in curve 4 to 5. That's the first real nemesis on the track. And now 6, Luder's Loop, 7. Now this exit, this is supposed to be a straightaway. It's not, it's a little bit of bend away. A lot of challenge there as they hit 9. Oh, links, shiver. This is where the speeds are 85 miles an hour, 90, 50-50 curve. Now, into Thunderbird, the Gold Rush section of the track, the fastest part, where they hit 90 miles an hour through. Get relaxed. There's the finish line there. That uphill section of the track, Martin, you can throw away a lot of good time in the last 50 meters.
Kelly Humphreys, the double Olympic champion, has not been beaten on this track except twice. The pre-Olympic race won by Shauna Roebuck and Alana Myers. The post-Olympic race run by Sandra Kyriasis and Stephanie Schneider. Both Myers and Schneider are in the field this year as drivers. 2 of the 19 sleds from 10 nations. We've got our reigning Olympic champion, you just saw her there, our reigning world champion, there's Alana Myers-Taylor, and we have 6 first-time World Championship starters, strictly 7 if you include Andrea Greco, who's only competed in the Worlds as a brakewoman before. So we've got lots of new talent, we've got lots of established talent. Our world and Olympic champion, Corrie Hall there from Canada, making her first ever major start in the World Championships. And John, it's a warm, sunny day. The track is going to be absolutely glassy, so we could see, as we did in the men's race yesterday, the track record getting spectacularly crushed. This is a very fast sheet of ice this week. Well, here's our entry list. We go straight in with rookies. Hua Mingming of China, making her very first start. Mariama Yamanka, the European and World Cup champion and Olympic champion, goes off just ahead of teammate Stephanie Schneider, and Alana Myers-Taylor, the reigning world champion. Newcomers to the Worlds include Anna Kohler of Germany, Andrea Greco, Lubov Chernik, and the final 3 sleds, Nicole Vogt, Corrie Hall, and Elena Osipenko of Russia.
Martin, we have a fast track on our hands like we had on Tuesday in training when there was people coming from Calgary, then all of a sudden they showed up here and the 10, 12 miles an hour faster. Ice was glistening. The reputation as this being the fastest track in the world is still true.
Getting the 2019 World Championships underway for women's bobsleigh. Hua Mingming of China and Wang Yameng, who made her debut here in November. The brakewoman has competed in just 3 races.
What a way to break into the World Championships. Beautiful exit of curve 1. Now her driving coach is Andre Longo, who won the gold medal in 2-man bobsledding on this track in 2010. The head coach, Pierre Lueders, he won a gold medal for Canada in the 1998 Winter Olympics in Nagano. Marcus, she's got pretty good lines here.
Nice, neat lines up top from Mingming. It's a very good start to the run. From 7-8 into 9 there, there's a little tap for everybody. Speed's already over 70 miles an hour.
Ooh, watch out here, she's late. She's got to really steer hard, but look at 11, 12. 50-50 curve, well right now it's 100 to nothing, because nobody in the men's race last night had any issues there. The shades are up, it's a bright sun.
Yep.
Finish curve down, 53.05, wow. The track record's 52.66. Mark, that
And this
track
is-
record's going to get smashed just like it did
Yep.
in the two-man race last night.
Because this is a rookie who's only in her second year of driving. That wasn't a tidy run necessarily. Now, when we were up at the top earlier on, John, air temperature's about 14 or 15. The runners are in the sun. The sleds are upside down, so the runners are very hot. The ice is -4
Well,
or 5.
they're hot according to the rules.
They're allowed to be hot because that's how bright the sun is, but it is a very
but they still
sunny
have a
day.
runner check at the top. Their
Yep.
runners can't be plus or minus 3 degrees to the runner that's hanging up there.
Now, the runner is out in the sunshine as well, so the runners are very warm. Now, next up is Canada's Alicia Risling with Cynthia Serwa. They were 6th in the last World Championships 2 years ago. Alicia competing in her 3rd Worlds. And Cynthia back on the back handles for the final time, we believe. She's already started driving two-man and monobob.
Cynthia Appia in and down. Now, Riesling's had some issues with this track. See, she gets out of 1-2, but she made her first trip down in practice. She got out of the sled screaming. I looked at her. She goes, the previous 3 times I ain't crashed.
Yep.
It's a great victory just to get down.
Well, last year in the World Cup race here, she finished in 7th place. Teammate Kaylee Humphries was the winner. Now she's tied for the lead with the Chinese at the moment.
Well, their home track, you'd expect her to come down here or even challenge the track record, but she's not even close.
Cynthia buried in the back of the sled. Barely see her from behind.
First
never
wave.
mind
Now
in
this
front.
is where she has issues, this part of the track, and no problem. Track's tame. Boy, but I can't believe she's not 20 hundredths ahead of the Chinese sled.
A little nervous, perhaps, with the beginning
Wow.
of the Worlds on such
Wow,
a
this
quick
is
sheet
pretty
of ice.
shocking that she's not 2/10, 3/10 ahead.
300s behind the Chinese.
Wow.
Disappointed with
Did
that.
she have that bad a run? Or were the Chinese coming as fast as we think they are?
It was skiddy and clattery. I don't think it was a comfortable ride in the back for Cynthia.
This is the pictures we're going to see a lot of, and you saw the way the nose dropped into that curve. 8, 9, that's 9, and then here's the 50-50. Now watch the runners. Didn't steer.
Yep.
She got in where she wanted to, but no speed.
Yep. A little bit of a rocky ride, just a fraction off with the timing. I think it's quite a lot quicker than it was in training.
JJ, this one's for you.
Well, next up from China is Ying Qing. She finished 20th in the World Championships last time in Winterberg in Germany. 22 years old now. Same age for Tan, her great woman.
Not small.
They raced together in the Junior Worlds, finished in 10th position just a couple of weeks ago in Koenigsegg.
And the Chinese coaches, Lūcis tells me, this is the drivers he's probably going to have into the Olympic Games. We would expect to be able to get some better push athletes. Good exit there again.
Yep.
I mean, China is coming. That's not good. This jinxed her. 4-5. This is where the problems are coming up here.
Lose the entire race between corners 1 and 5.
Red numbers to her teammate.
Out of Bobsleigh. Very different look to the track in the bright afternoon sunshine. Skids into 9.
Shiver up 2 pressure points. The second one, the tap there. And you go in and, oh, it's late. And she gets away with it.
Yeah, had to haul it off a little bit. We'll see that shot again.
Ooh, speed. It's unbelievable that you can come down the track. 92 1 mile, 92.1's the best speed. She had 88.2. Lūcis looks on. Athletes 4/10 out, but one of his athletes is on top of the leaderboard after 3.
Yep.
It could change in the next few sleds.
It could well do. First 3 sleds that go down are not in the top 10 of the world rankings. So now we get into our real serious contenders.
The start and entry and the technique here is really well done, especially going through curve 1 and 2. Very impressed. Here up, this is the exit of 5, or 3, excuse me, a little bang there. Then this is down where the 50-50 is, and this is where the delicate part of the track. You could see how much runners, she had to steer there with the runners. She came in the middle of the curve and late. Martin, it's amazing how fast the Chinese have come.
No kidding. Now here is our Olympic champion, our World Cup champion this season, and our European champion. Interesting to see at the top of the track, John, all the German sleds are on the fattest runners you can get, which means minimum friction. They're hot, the ice is cold. They're now hopefully going to be challenging the track record. Marianne Jemanka and Annie Dratzek for Germany.
5:14, the start record's 5:09. 5:06, 5:09 from Alana Myers-Taylor.
Just a few hundreds away from that. Jemanka should be right in the frame for the medals here. There's no question that her driving this season has been quite superb.
She gets this to 2000s, we're going to be looking at a track record.
Now, the women all trained in the evening in colder, moister conditions than we got today. 3100s up.
She keeps this going, there's going to be a track record here like we saw last night in the men's competition. Perfect lines there.
She is hanging on to this.
Wow, she's flying.
Now she set an unofficial top speed
close.
record in training. And at the line, is she the new track record holder? She is.
Just like last night in the men's competition, they lowered the track record by ridiculous.
0.3 of a second it was. 146.9 at the bottom. 148.3 for Y of China.
800ths better. The men lowered it by 30+ hundredths last night.
Yep.
So Marianne Jemanka is now the track record holder at the bottom of the fastest track on the planet. This wasn't perfect out of curve 1.
Yep.
But down here on these fat runners that don't give you a lot of control, 4-5.
She adjusted really well to the different feel.
Can't even see the brakeman buried back there. Perfect aerodynamics.
Just didn't steer there, Marianne Jemanka. She had the line absolutely right. So Jemanka and Annie Dratzek again together. Such a potent combination, this pair. Well, next up is Stephanie Schneider. Now, she has had just 2 trips down this track that didn't involve a crash out of the 5 she started. This could be real trouble for Schneider.
She's won a couple times this year on the World Cup circuit. She used to be in the back of Sandra Kyrgios's sled.
Won the race here the year after the Games. Finished in 8th place in Koenigsegg 2 years ago in the last World. She's 100th up on Jemanka. She can drive, but she has got to survive this run.
Well, she's got to survive 50-50. She's behind by a couple hundredths now. That's late there. Dead heat, though. 7, 8. Oh, she really steered hard off of 8, 10, 9.
This is her nemesis now.
Right here. Man, if she can get through here, she's got a chance. She does. Perfect. Boy, the German coaches just took a deep breath.
Yep. And they put her on fat runners as well, the same as their teammates.
They don't care about her time right now. They want to get her through the first heat. They want to let her just feel it out. There's 4 heats here. Again, she's won a couple events. But Mark, the last 10 trips down this track, I estimate she's crashed 6 times.
Yeah.
This is one that she didn't, of course. When you talk about a red badge of courage and being brave, this young German athlete, former hammer thrower, up here, exit of 1, pretty much like her teammate, double skid. Down here late there, she's in hit ice that no one else has hit so far. 50-50, you can see a lot of steering right there. If you've been through the curve like she has the last number of times upside down, you'd steer like that too.
And the last heat of a World Cup race that she raced in here, she crashed out of that as well. So Marianne Jemanka, Stephanie Schneider, 1-2 for Germany. 5 down, 14 to go. 9th World Championship start for Alana Myers-Taylor as a brakewoman and now as a driver, with Lake Quaza behind her, the 25-year-old rookie this season. Alana has got 8 medals from 9 World Championships so far. She is our reigning women's bobsleigh world champion.
Watch out for the start record here. She should get single digits. She is some little athlete on the back. 5'11". Start. Now, how does she get out of 1? Not perfect. 3. Late there.
But with a quicker start than Marianne Jemanka.
7. That's expected. Now watch her get through this nemesis for a lot of people. She crashed there earlier in the week. She's through that.
Out of Luder's loop. Dropping down now over.
Still got 7 to 7, so she hasn't increased her lead.
1:15.3, 71.6. first sled out, the Chinese sled, still has the best speed
big
everywhere.
steer in there. She's got through there with.
She's going to break the track record. 900s up still. She'll lead from Mariama Yamanka, world versus Olympic champions.
1000s.
52.48. Brian Scheimer likes that.
Nice to see Brian. Nice to see Scheimer smile.
Scheimer smiles a lot.
Yeah, he hasn't had a lot to smile about this year.
You're right about Lake Kwaza. Like Kerry Jones, who set the start record with Alana.
She looks so small, and I asked her, how big are you?
Yeah.
130? No. 135? No. She's got a lot of weight on her, Mark, and you don't notice it.
Well, Alana is such a big, strong athlete. Well, take a look at the start here.
Katie, the challenge is to get down. Use that inertia. Use the gravity. Now you drop here into the first curve. You get out of here, and it's 7-story drop. TV doesn't do it justice. Not a bad exit. She didn't tap, skidded, but that skid cost her that lateness there on the next curve. And here's down in the 50-50. Now the runners. Oh, she didn't steer.
No, she steered it on and held it there. What a great-looking run from Alana Myers-Taylor. She and Lake Kwaza lead. Next up is Nadezhda Sergeva, finished 5th equal last World Cup race here. She crashed out of the last World Championships dramatically when hunting a medal when we were in Koenigsegg.
Loves this track, loves the speed. Her first ever bob school when she went down the track as a driver was in Calgary last week. She likes all the tracks, but she said this one's speed really is addictive.
Gets everybody, doesn't it? A little bit behind the 8 ball. She's 2 tenths behind.
Oh, she's late there.
Oh,
boy,
and
look
a
at
big
the backhand skid. Now, these are times they're coming down the track that the fastest they've been down all week.
Yeah.
Evidence from the 2 track records we've already seen. But even though those those track records, watch out. Even though those 2 track records, she's not going to match the track record. It still might be the fastest time she's ever been down the track.
Yeah, that is a wild ride for Nadezhda Sergeva and 22-year-old Yulia Belomesnik, her brakewoman.
That was a rough ride.
Yulia's
she
also
can do better.
Her brakewoman's also started driving. Sergeva in her 5th World Championships. She's twice been to the Olympics as well, but
you can see
there's a lot to think about. Yeah. That was getting away from her everywhere, John.
Late. Well, there's some places you have to look at the back end of the steering there.
Bumps onto Luda's loop.
And the square that she made, then hits the take on there, goes in low.
And that's in the Gold Rush Trail, and boy, look at
the rudder tips. Look at how much. There's some Robin Hood. That's the most Robin Hood we've seen yet, right there.
That is a self-preservation steer. That was a crash that she avoided.
10 years ago, she was upside down. 8 years ago, upside down. 6 years ago. They've done a great job taking back that take onto those curves.
First World Championships for Germany's Anna Kohler and Leonie Fieberg, a rookie in the team this year. 25-year-old driver, 28-year-old brakewoman from Cologne, hence the red and white. Disappointed to be missing the Carnival in Cologne, her hometown, this season, but delighted to be starting the World Championships.
Kohler started off the season with a bronze medal. Last week she missed the race in Calgary. She had a bronchial sinus infection, she said.
There's a bit of that going around.
She said she spent the whole week in bed.
Just 25, Anna Kohler, silver in the Junior Worlds.
Oh, watch out here, watch out!
Oh. Also raced in last year's Winter Olympic Games for Germany.
I'm sure the German coaches marks up at the throats on that one.
No kidding.
Look at that
nice
line there.
Run into 9.
Great line.
That may just be because she's going slower than the other sleds we've seen so far. This is
not bad. She's top 4.
Not quite as random.
Oh,
a second.
A lot of Robin Hood in there. This is fast down here.
And it's only going to get faster in the second heat as well. Oh, rattles along the wall, up the hill.
89.5 miles an hour. She finishes 4th place. Wow.
So Alana Myers-Taylor leads 3 Germans, then Y of China, Rissling of Canada, your top half dozen.
Hey, her first World Championships, correct?
Yes, first Worlds for her and for Leonie Fieberg.
For them, but didn't have very good. Now into the belly of the curve. Now watch her come up. Boy, she had to steer to get off.
Yeah, 4 to 5, late in 6.
Very forgiving there today. Then here's in the 50-50. She's a little late. Watch the rudder tips here. Look at those rudder tips. They're pointed the opposite direction the sled wants to go in.
She's carving the turn like a skier.
And when you see the articulation split like that, that means the sled and the frame is under a lot of pressure.
And the final hit. The final hit there, they're both going to have bruised hips, but particularly Leonie, the brakewoman. Misha McNeil of Great Britain, 16th in the World Championships 2 years ago. She was 5th in the last World Cup race here with 33-year-old Lewisham-born sprinter Montel Douglas. Behind her, Monty starting her first Worlds. Youth Olympic silver medalist, junior world champion in 2017 as well.
And led the Altenburg race this year after the first run, fell to 4th. Notice she's up front. She's not coming back from the block. She set both her feet up in the ice.
She has
different technique.
Speed, but not the physical build of somebody like Alana Myers-Taylor.
Needs to get out of here clean. Not perfect. Now real high there.
5.30 left her 1900s back as she sat down. That's now out to 3200s back, late 4 to 5.
A lot of steering. Whoa, airborne. Taking on the Luder's loop. That's why she was late on the exit. Boy, she comes in here. Watch how high she has to steer there.
It's into 9 and 10.
Kept it low there in 9.
Here we go, down through the Gold Rush Trail. This is where the speed is really high. But half a second back. Behind Sergeva of Russia. That, in fact, is the slowest run we've seen so far from Misha McNeil behind one of the Chinese sleds, behind Nadezhda Sergeva.
I just think the athletes have this man against the mountain. I'm going to get my sled to the bottom and worry about my time after the fact.
Yeah.
They're feeling the track out, Martin. I think there's a lot of apprehension when we went up there this morning.
Yeah, agreed. It's a hot, sunny day. It's very different from training, and it's very easy to park it hard and end your worlds in the first heat.
Look how high she is there, 4.5. And
look at the brakeman just being tossed around like a rag doll in the back.
See the splits there. But she did well here, but she dives into the bottom part of that curve. In the takeout, she has to go way up high, a lot of steering.
There's Monty. Misha with plenty to think about before the second heat this afternoon. Brittany Reinbold of the USA, the 34-year-old in her second Worlds. 34-year-old Lauren Gibbs behind her.
Gibbs, Ivy League, Brown University, went there to track and field, ended up playing volleyball.
Bronze medalist here 2 years ago with Jamie Grubel-Poser, Lauren Gibbs.
10th best velocity, not very good there.
A little too much height in corner 2 and 3. Dropping down 4 to 5. It's a better fist of it than the couple we've seen. And heading up to Luder's Loop, corner 7. Good exit here. Shoots her nicely down into corner 9.
That's exits out too.
That's a really nice line, and that'll help keep the speed on board.
8. No problem with 50-50.
Yeah, time lost up top is hard to find, because on the bottom of the track is better. She's coming back. 5th fastest start, and she only makes a little tap on the wall. 5th at the line.
Did well on the bottom part of the track. She cleans that up. She's only 100th back in the polar, 2/10 out of a medal. She cleans up the top. That would have been 10-15 better.
That's a really good opening run for Brittany Reinbold.
3rd best speed in the bottom part of the track, 90.4. This is what I'm talking about, back end, front end. Then she skids into the curve, that's 2, and then in the exit here, more skidding. So that's what's cleaning up the top. Look at this though. She got into that 50-50 curve on her terms and got out on her terms, and that's why she went 8th, middle part of the track, 5th at the bottom.
That was a good run. So it's Alana Myers-Taylor leading 3 German sleds, then Brittany Reinbold and Y of China, the top 6. 10 sleds down in the Women's Bobsleigh World Championships. Heat 1 of 4 in Whistler in Canada. 11th of our starters is Anne van Nieuwenhuis of Belgium with Sarah Ertz behind her.
The last remaining Belgian bullet in the field. Good entry into 1 on the left side. Now let's see how she exits and takes advantage of what Mother Nature, gravity will give you. She's perfect there. And then look at this. She's real quiet up top.
Fourth fastest speed as well, John, off the 10th fastest start.
That's getting around that first curve without a mistake. Boy, she got a lot of steering there. She was sideways steering through that curve, but that curve's had a lot of victories on it, that 4-5.
Nice exit from Luder's Loop, straightens her up into 9. 10th place at the start, 10th place at the moment after that mistake from 4 to 5. Let's see what she can bring back.
Martin, it looks like almost too much control. She's making the track look easy, but it's just not fast.
Up to 9th place, ducks out of sight.
Where'd she go?
And 9th at the line.
Oh. Tom. That's a great effort. Okay, Tom, thank you for that. 10th best start, drove herself into 9th. Martin, remember last night?
Listen to her, she's furious with herself from those mistakes.
7.
Absolutely her own harshest critic, particularly from 2 to 3, 4 to 5 as well. Here's 4 to 5. Yeah, look at that.
And then hard steering, you saw the back end change directions here too.
Well, at that stage, she was moving up, looking for a top 6.
Then in the finish, where'd she go?
Yeah.
Where'd she go? Listen, the finish line's not to that Omega clock. Yeah. That's a good move.
Joins
at 90 miles an hour going uphill for 100 yards.
All right, Anne, you're allowed 1 loose run.
3 more to go.
Yeah. Next up is Katie Byle, the junior world champion in women's bobsleigh, starting her 3rd world championship soon. She's got Jennifer Onosanya behind her. And Byle missed a day of training with an awful vomiting bug.
17's pretty decent start. 4th place last week in Calgary. She didn't go to Lake Placid. Mark?
Yeah, she was at the Junior Worlds and it paid off.
Whoa, really high there. Only 800s back.
Wow.
That's pretty good. As she gets through here without steering, hardly.
Only 3 women have won a race this year. Yamanka, Schneider and Myers-Taylor, but Byle has been there or thereabouts in every race, and that is going to slow her right down.
Okay. This young lady here has got some talent.
She is as weak as a kitten for the final day of training. She's still in the top 4.
Speed a little bit off. It's going to be her or on a
5
caller here at the bottom.
Maybe 6 at the line ahead of Wales. China.
7. She lost a lot. These guys like it. Yep. Big mistake. She starts 12. Her draw disadvantage will be equaled up in the 2nd run.
300s behind Brittany Reinbold in 5th, 200s behind Wei of China in 6th. So 3 sleds there on the fringes of the top 3.
Yeah, this is the exit out of Luder's Loop, and this was her big albatross mistake.
Yeah. Well, that's a 10th and more by the time you get to the bottom of the track. Yeah.
Remember, she was only 1300s off the pace before Luder's Loop. Down here at the bottom. Pretty good, quiet exit of the 50-50 curve, which is pretty tame.
Well, a day off yesterday definitely will have helped her physically. Next up is another of our World Cup rookies, at least as a driver, Andrea Grecu, with Teodora Vlad behind her. Teodora and Andrea have done 2 junior worlds together, but this is their first time as a world championship pair. Andrea in the last Worlds was braking for teammate Maria Constantine. Junior world champion last year, silver medalist this year by just a fraction.
Yeah, she lost the Junior Worlds in Koenigsee by 100th of a second. You should have heard describe that in Romania. You could tell how much frustrating that was, but you told me the story.
And in the last Worlds in Koenigsee, she was part of the bronze medal winning team competition team, which was a German and Romanian combination. So 5:22, 6th fastest start. And Grecu has come on in leaps and bounds as a driver in the last 24 months.
Paul Niagu, the coach.
Just outside the top half dozen for Andrea Grecu. First run as a driver in the World Championship.
Very high there. Late.
Oh, and she's gone.
See, she got way too high on the 11 curve, gets through the finish line. She'll go again. I'm sure she'll go again.
Sure she will. She's made it down safely.
Now watch
it
get the, I hate to say this, the hook. Watch
yep.
it. They got to get the hook on the sled. There they go.
Yep.
Great job the track crew does here.
Yep.
The medical staff right in.
They've been quite well rehearsed through training as well.
Dr. Eugene Byrne walking down with the U.S. jacket. He's the team doctor on site.
Yep.
Oh, you feel for...
There is Theodora. She's out of the sled. And Andrea Grecu, she's quite a tall athlete. And there is Beatrice Pugh coming down in the purple top.
That's the backup.
Yeah, she's their alternate from Charlotte, North Carolina. Andrea is quite considerably taller, as you can see, than her brakewoman. So looks like she's got a bit of a knock on the head, but she's out of the sled. So the girls are okay.
We'll get some concussion protocol.
Yeah.
Then they'll make a determination whether or not to go back up. I mean,
I'm sure they'll want to go again. You know, at the very, well, there won't be there's 19 sleds in the field, so they should get all 4 runs.
Here, watch her tap.
Yeah.
Here, and then she get forced way over late. Look how high she climbs. And once you go that high, you come over here, and the crossover, that hits. Now she's pushed into the center part of the curve. No man's land. So 50-50 claims its first victim. And last night, 62 sleds came down without a problem. Here it's our 14th sled.
So she's going up as the corner is coming down. She got later still.
65th sled into the competition.
Now all those fans trackside, if they're at this track for the first time, first would have been wowed by how quick the sleds are, and secondly by what a noise they make when they've crashed and they're coming upside down past you.
You just don't realize how steep it is on television. I mean, this section right there of this track, you really have to be careful walking up it.
Yeah.
And the whole track's like that.
Makes your legs burn, doesn't it? Well, there you can see facing us, Theodora, the brakewoman, and with her back to us, Andrea. So we'll have another 2 or 3 minutes track hold just to check to make sure there are no other pitfalls in the ice.
Well, last night when Nick Polinato crashed, the Canadians up in curve 4 or 5,
yeah.
They gouged the track, the length of the track down, so the track crew really had to scramble to fill in the holes. Here, at least, it's on the bottom 7. You know, we only have another 250 meters to come down.
Now, when you're at the top waiting for your turn, having somebody crash means you're going to hang around for another 5 minutes or so. That's not what our next slider needs. Lubov Chernik has been very nervous about being on this track all week.
She's had a few issues down in that curve that the Romanians just...
You can see one of the guys grabbing their scabbards. There's what protect the runners.
Well, Martin, it's the super speedway, but 65 sleds in before the 50-50 curve reared its personality.
What a beautiful location. Look at the weather. It's absolutely stunning. You need to wrap up warm because we are up in the mountains, but the sun is out. It is beautiful. And look, smile on the face of Andrea Grecu there. She is okay, and they will be able to complete all 4 runs. She could still drive herself further back up the field. Well, there is the top of the track. On the left-hand side, the changing rooms. At the top, great viewing platform and warm-up area. And our athletes going down just to be fully checked out by the medical crew. By the way, after yesterday's 2-man crash, spoke to Graham Richardson this morning, Nick Polinato absolutely is going to go in the third heat. Absolutely, for his own frame of mind, and also he and Ben Coakwell now think that this track owes them something. Well, the other thing, they're going to come and get it in heat 3.
He's also getting a couple more trips for 4-man training.
Exactly right, and he may well be in the team competition as well, slushing in some of the gouges that are left in the track. So our track workers well rehearsed in that, not just this week either.
Well, spectacular conditions. The final 2 heats of the men's world championships coming up.
Yep.
5 o'clock local time here today, Martin, and you know, history in the making. We have Francisco Friedrich, who hasn't lost since January or December 17.
December 17, yeah.
In the 2-man event. and he's his #1 nemesis. The guy tied him for the Olympic gold medal last year, Justin Cripps, only about 1200ths back.
Yeah, they flip-flopped after the first heat where Cripps was 700ths up, and then Friedrich put together a tidier second heat and Cripps a looser one. So, I mean, 1200s, you can give that away on any turn on this track, John.
Well, there's demons every place.
Yeah.
You know, curve 4, 5, and curve 1, 2, 3. It's not a danger there. It's the time.
It's a
The
minefield.
amount of time that you can lose.
It really is.
And then 4, 5, you got to worry about tipping over with the 2 pressure points in 4. And 5, you can't try and miss that curve. And then next thing you know, you're going 80 miles an hour. And next thing you know, it's wow. There's just challenges all over this place.
Nerves will be jangling for Lubov-Chernik and her brakewoman, Yulia Shokshweva. Lubov starting her first ever Worlds. Yulia, the tall, dark-haired girl behind her, in her 4th Worlds. Now look at the routine. 3 times she crosses herself, 3 times she slaps her helmet. She has this whole pre-start routine, but it hasn't helped her on 2 of her trips. She has crashed hard here in Whistler, and look at the face. I'm not sure I've ever seen a more nervous driver of a bobsled.
I think everybody else coming down the track's got that same look.
Yeah. She looks haunted by this place. She needs a good run.
Jogging there, but she's not even going full.
Which is a bit of a false economy, because you're still going to be doing within a mile an hour of the same speed at the bottom. 5:38 the start.
Pretty good exits. Again, it's her first World Championship.
Yes.
She's young.
And again, if you crash it in the first heat, you are just going to spend the rest of the time trying to make up ground.
Watch out. Late.
Tight in 6. Got to tidy it up. She got tacked away into Luda's loop. Straightens up the exit.
Pretty good there.
Okay, 9 and 10, the double lefts. Set you up for the Gold Rush Trail from 11 on down.
Shiver. Watch out, this is her spot. Right there, she gets through it.
All right,
Russian
but it's
coaches.
not over. We've seen sleds crash out of the final corner as well, John.
That's okay.
She's good, she hits the wall. Actually, that was not a bad trip. 12th place, but she got it down. And it wasn't.
Again, this is a, you say, man, women against the mountain, get to the bottom. Oh, I made it. Oh, by the way, what was my time?
Oh, she doesn't care about the
Doesn't
time.
care.
Oh,
Time.
boy, she
I
just
made it.
wanted to make
Hey.
it. And look, she's only 500s behind Misha McNeil, who finished 5th here in the last World Cup race last year.
Okay, Lee, watch the back end of the sled. Look at that. Now she has to steer hard on the take-on. Those marks you see in curve 7, those are from last night.
Yeah.
Nick Paulinado's
She was
crash.
so keen to get onto 7.
She's
Here out
pretty
of
good.
50-50.
Pretty good. That's where she's been
She's
crashing.
got it. She's got it.
Well, they've got-
Luda's loop, though, that was scary. Now, that's the first time you've really seen much of a smile from her. I was talking to the last day of training, her broker was going, oh, smile. She said, no, no smiles. So 14 of our 19 sleds down now. A lot of home attention for Christine de Bruin. 2 silver medals in the World Cup races she contested this season, which are only 3. She's done 1 Olympic Games, a Junior Worlds. This is her 3rd World Championships, a first time for Booge, her brakewoman.
This could be a threat here.
9th in the last World Cup race here, which was November 2017.
Good, very much like Alana Myers. Taylor's line right there. 5th. 700s back, 12. That's pretty good. That's relative to the start deficiency. Nice lines there.
Well, she bailed out of a couple of European races to come back to Canada and do training for the World Championships. This is really a great opportunity for Christine de Bruin. 2 tenths back, top 5 run.
Couple medals already this year on the World Cup circuit.
Yeah.
Including a track like Placid, which is not easy down there. That's late.
But she's keeping the speed up.
She's
She is
gonna be
closing
third. She's
in
flying.
on the top 3. She's
Could
among
be a
the
third.
Germans.
Perfect
3rd
line.
of the line, 4th of the line by
700s.
Wow. All right. Well,
Schneider.
that is a good first run.
Yeah, she's coming late in the heat. Schneider ahead of her was 5th at the start. Again, she was 15th off. Lesser ice to work with. It'll equal things up when they go back-to-back in the next run.
Yes. And Christine, full of confidence after those 2 gold medals, both with Christian Buźnowski. Buj, her new brakewoman, brand new to the team this year.
Good aerodynamic profile. There she's barely, her head's barely above the cowling. Here, now this got away from her a little bit here into the 50-50 curve. Climbing late, let's see how much she's got to, didn't steer.
No panic there.
That's in,
wow.
That's in no man's land, no woman's land up there. That's ice. No one else has been on that part of the track.
That is knowledge. Christina Brown challenging for the medals. Martina Fonteneve of Switzerland, 19th in her last World Championships in Koenigsegg 2 years ago. This is her second World Championship appearance, but she has not raced here before. Oh, little tap as she comes out of the spurs. And another.
Talked to her the other night, she's still a little wounded.
Yeah. She's got an adductor tear that has been bugging her all year long.
Watch out, watch out. Oh, look at the back end. Look at the steering
skidding into 6.
She is really out
and
of control.
Very late. She's, and again, very early onto Luna's loop.
Make the mistake up there, and it takes 3-4 corners for you to correct it.
And skidding all the way down here. Looks like she has not got the feel of controlling the sled.
Whoa, she's going to hit. Now she's in trouble.
Oh, and Arena, her brakewoman, will be feeling every one of these, just waiting for it to go over. But it looks like she's made it down.
Whoa.
It was ugly, but they didn't use their helmets.
Wolfgang Stomper on the right, Christoph Langen on the left.
Well, it's double jeopardy for Langen, because not only is she his athlete, she's his girlfriend as well, so your heart is in your mouth with all of those skids and hits.
Well, where do you want to start? Where do you want to start?
Almost on the woodwork exiting 4.
Then she's, just steering to try and get control. She was out of control for 200 meters at the top of the track.
Yeah, pretty much to
And
corner
down
12.
Here, watch her tap. Come in the middle of, now she's got to go in the middle of the 50-50 curve 12. And watch her after, she's up in no man's land. Look at the runners.
Hauls it off.
Oh, error.
Well, there is Martina Fonteneve. That's not going to do her confidence much good. Final 3 sleds, all making their first start in a World Championships. First up from the USA, Nicole Vogt and Nicole Brungart. 32-year-old driver, 29-year-old brakeman.
Brungart's father, Tim, played for the University of Nebraska, 3 national championship teams. Last Nebraska athlete we had on the track, or on the team for the U.S., a guy named Kurt Thomas Savage.
Yeah, hey Curtis.
Hey, he won the Olympic gold medal on this track with Steve Holcomb and the nitrate team. 800's back start's been Nicole's nemesis.
Never raced outside of North America.
15th best start.
Oh, a little late onto 7. Successfully out of Luna's loop, but again, squirreling down into 9, that big left-hander.
Cole from Dallas.
Late, born in Wichita, Kansas. So she'd have been used to the cold prairie nights of Calgary last week.
7/10 back and more.
Well, 15th fastest start, and at the line, 12th place.
So on the bottom part of the track, she overcame the deficiency at the start. You have the best start, 17 sleds, and then she drives herself into 12th, so she can drive.
She knows the track.
Yeah, she's been here a lot.
But the nerves are always going to be there in your first heat in the World Championships, first time out. Look at the breath, the sigh of relief. Got it done. Right, now we can move on.
Everybody's got a sign of relief when you get down to the bottom here.
Yeah.
Down to the bottom here was pretty good. Look at the runners.
Knows where she's going, look. No panic. Just lets the sled take its own line.
That sled was, the articulation split pretty well there.
So there's Nicole Vogt. 2 to go. Next up, 26-year-old Canadian Corrie Hole, her second year as a slider from Vancouver, ex-soccer player, and Melissa Lottholtz, She won the last race here with Kaylee Humphries.
Well, makes her debut. Other day in practice, Martin, she really banged her shoulder. She got a stinger one day. The next day she came down, oh, was she in pain? I asked her about it. She never hurt the shoulder before, but that one hard hit, she says it's still bothering her.
Just avoids a tap into 3. Little skiddy into 4. Decent exit into 5.
University of Lethbridge, where she played the ball, soccer, volleyball.
Last 2 World Championships Melissa Lockholtz was in. She got silver medals in both of them with Kaylee Humphries. Melissa, like Cynthia Appiah, has also started driving this season, so this is the last time we'll see her as a breakaway.
Competition that will throw her in there, you don't know.
Having fastest start for the duo, 17th at the moment. Ahead of Andrea Grecu. And Corey Hall at the line, 16th, ahead of Andrea Grecu and Martina Fontenev. 53.68 trip of a 5.24 start. And Corey, well, she was smiley at the top, John, but she'll be a lot smilier now. She's got 1 down.
Good job, girl.
Friends and family.
Well, that's not how to get out of curve 1.
Yeah.
And you know, but your world championship debut is on your home track is an advantage, but didn't look like it was home track there, curve 1.
Well, and only the 2nd year driving a bobsled, 2nd year in the sport, so she's got so much learning to do.
Looks like that shoulder's okay.
Yeah. She'll be feeling less pain now for sure. Final sled, another World Cup rookie. In fact, we've only seen her ever in 1 World Cup race, Elena Osipenko of Russia. 25 years old, she's driven 2-man bob and monobob, 6th in the Junior Worlds. She's got Anna Parfonova behind her, who also started the World Cup this season. She's only had 5 races, Parfonova, at the top level.
She's not in the World Cup ranking.
No. She came in for a headshot in Calgary, but has not started a World Cup race in her life. So Osipenko, because Russia have earned 3 spots, gets to go straight in at the top level. All right, 5:31. She didn't have a crash in training. Let's hope that that continues here in the race itself.
On the wrong side of that curve, which means she's going to hit the wall, the exit of it.
Game for her, getting 4 trips without the use of the helmets on the ice will be a huge World Championship result.
Pretty good 4 to 5.
How does she come out of Luna's Loop? Little late, but
Not
she's
bad.
okay
Not bad
into
at all.
9. 14th fastest start, getting down will be the key here.
50. What's she do? No problem. Run around the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Again, it's let's just get to the bottom. By the way, what's my time?
Yeah. This is a safety run.
Yeah.
And across the line, 16th ahead of Corey Hall by 1900ths of a second. So she gets it in, gets it done. First time we've seen her drive a sled in any competition on television. So welcome to the World Championships, Elena Osipenko and Anna Parfonova.
Well, out of curve 1, can't tell you the importance, and the TV doesn't do it justice, how steep it is there. And then this is up again with a 6-7 into Luna's Loop. There's just mouse traps all over the track.
Well, there she is, helmet off, Elena Osipenko of Russia, Anna Parfonova. There's Anna. And our first heat leader is the reigning world champion. 1 run down, 3 more to go. A second today and then 2 tomorrow. Alana Myers-Taylor and Lake Quaza lead the Olympic champion.
Good run. This is the only American female ever to win a world championship, except for Jill Bacchus, Olympic gold medal. And
Yep.
we don't consider that the world championships, but Alana's right where she wants to be.
Double world champion. She won in Winterberg, Germany 2015. 2017 she won in Koenigsegg. She leads after the first of our 4 heats. So there you can see the rest of the top 10. All 19 sleds crossed the line, which means that Angia Greco and Teodora Vlad for Romania can go again. Now, clearly, they're nearly a second and a half behind Martina Fontenev, so even getting into the top dozen is going to be a really tough challenge, but I'm sure they will want to leave it like that. So that's it, first heat down and done for the Women's Bobsleigh World Championships. Join John Morgan, V. Martin Haven and the IBSF TV crew for our second heat coming up in just over 30 minutes.